Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Welcome along. It is another Life Logistics for you on a Tuesday here on the IFS, which we like to rotate between Life Logistics and History Box and Tune Machine and all that, but it's a Life Logistics, and we asked for some questions and queries and problems that you might have. And the response was overwhelming, Sam. Overwhelming. There's a lot of problems out there, it seems.
Yeah.
A lot of people need a lot of help.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. Oh, is that Cookie there in the background?
That's Cookie having a bath. I've just taken her out for a wonderful walk on Wimbledon Common, home of the Wombles. Future,
Wombles, of course, yeah.
Future probable deep dive subjects, the Wombles. And it's a wonderful place to go. And I tried because I've told you about this barking problem she's got.
Barking fears.
She won't stop fucking barking. She won't stop. So I decided what I'll do is I'll take her for fucking knockout walks that just exhaust her for fucking ages. I've been walking around that common all fucking afternoon. Come back. I'll tell you the first two things she does is first thing she does is she walks in the house and fucking pukes up the dog ice cream I've just given her.
Oh, God.
You know that dog? Did you ever give Oscar dog ice cream?
Never given dog ice cream, no.
Well, fucking don't. She loved it, and then she got home. The first thing she did was, puke that up straight away. Right, as soon as she went, now that'll be me out the back garden to have a right good bark up.
Now clear some space in my mouth and guts.
Puke, and then literally without pause, all this pink puke, because the ice cream had been pink, on the rug. Oh. And then she's just, without any pause at all, she's just directly gone out the back door and just started barking her fucking head off. At what or whom, I don't know. But, so that worked. That tactic of trying to tire her out hasn't worked.
Possibly barking for more ice cream, I suspect.
Maybe.
Yeah. I've puked up that ice cream. You got any more?
Anyone in the neighbourhood? Call in everyone in the neighbourhood. Has anyone got any spare dog ice cream? Not human ice cream. That is bad for my guts. It has to be the doggy type. I live at... she barks out her address in case anyone wants to come down.
Oscar threw up overnight the other day. He just sleeps downstairs, like pretty much on the sofa. But his bed's there. He sometimes goes to his bed just out of habit, but he normally sleep on the sofa. And I came downstairs and there was a little sort of pile of puke on the sofa, among it was the little mini Chicken World treats that he has, the little tiny ones, and it was just completely undigested. So when he'd been given it, he hadn't even chewed it or anything. He just basically swallowed it whole.
He hasn't got the respect to even chew his treats.
Where's the enjoyment? Where's the enjoyment in that?
It's not what it's about, is it? They're lunatics. Idiot. Dogs are fucking lunatics. But there you go. That'll be a future dog logistics episode.
Yeah, dog logistics. That'll be a good spin-off. When we eventually become dog experts. For top of the list is from Oz H in the questions. He says, "Hi both. How do I get black mould off of my ceiling? It's a persistent bastard."
Great question.
It feels Googleable.
I've had mould issues earlier this year.
Right.
Bad mould issues.
Really?
And I told you about it. I got some mould men round. They were knockout. It's this geezer from Sheffield covered in tats. All right, don't worry. Just one of those guys. He just bowled straight in without any standing on ceremony.
Where's this mould then?
Yeah, it was literally like, we'll get rid of that, no problem. And he had this mate with him. He had this big fat geezer. And he goes, listen, right. Oh no, that was it. When I've been speaking to him on the phone, he goes, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm going to send round my mate. And I, for some reason, I can't remember, I was being Lampardy. I was like, no, mate, don't mug me off with some geezer you've subcontracted to last minute. Yeah. I want you to come round because you're the geezer who I've decided I want to use, right? And he's gone, in the end, he's gone, right, look, this pal, I'll tell you straight, Sam. I've never met him at this stage. I'll tell you straight. He's from Ukraine, yeah? And I'm trying to chuck him a bit of work because of everything that's going on there, you know? So I'm trying I said, listen, mate, I'm all for it. I admire you for trying to help out a refugee. But at the end of the day, this fucking mould could poison my kids and kill us all. So as much as I want to help a cunt out as much as anything, you got to get a proper fucking job done on this mould. I want you to come round and go, all right, I'll come, but I'll come with him. I said, fine. So the geezer comes and he's like full of it. He's very funny, nice bloke. And he goes, right. And basically, right, cut long story short, what I discovered my problem was, it might not be the same for you, he said there's two things. One is you got to use a special fucking cleaning agent that you probably can't even get for home use. The pros have it, right? That fucking because I bought some shit from the hardware shop to try and get rid of this mould, and it
good enough, is it?
Didn't do the job, right? This is what you need is some fucking serious dangerous chemicals on that shit.
Stuff you need a license for.
That's the first thing. The second thing is you can paint over it, and like when I actually painted my son's bedroom had had it quite badly. And we got rid of it all in February with these geezers. And then in like July, I painted my son's bedroom. But I remembered that matey boy, when he'd left, he'd gone, I'll leave you a bottle of this. Oh. It was a clear bottle of liquid with no label on, which I liked.
Not even a skull and crossbones on it.
No, he's just gone, when you paint his room, when you paint anywhere in this house, chop this inside, 2 litre tin of paint, yeah?
Whoa.
Or 5 litre tin of paint. I go, all right. So I did.
Drugged paint.
He goes, chop that in. You'll never see any fucking mould again. Don't worry about that. And I've gone, what is it, mate? And he's gone, just never mind that. Just chuck it in. Right. I've gone, all right. And I did. But the other thing is, the main thing they did was they just basically, they were quite good. They came in, they did it really quick, but they didn't really ask any questions. Before I knew it, the Ukrainian was just, with a fag on the go, was removing bricks from the outside of my house in various places and then replacing them with ventilated bricks. And that was what the problem was.
It's all about ventilation, isn't it?
It comes in winter when you haven't got the windows and doors open.
Yeah.
And what happens is, like, the heat can't escape or whatever, and it just fucking, the bad air is just rotating around the house and it just turns into fucking mould. And but the geezer, the Ukrainian geezer, was really funny because he was the one who said the line. I definitely told you this one. He was the one who said the line. He kept removing these bricks, and when they came out easily, he was shouting "Marvelous!" really loudly. It's like 8 in the morning, and then he comes back in. He's really fat, right? And his mate, the Sheffield guy, had been going on, bloody hell, he's on the piss last night. Have you seen the way they drink, these lads throughout there? Fucking hell, he'll just sink 10, 20 cans and you won't even notice he hasn't touched the size. Mind you, look at the side of him. And as he comes in, he just wipes his brow and he goes, fuck, I sweat like rat. And my kids were still there, they hadn't gone to school yet, and they fucking pissed themselves, right? And now it's just become a line in our house. I sweat like rat. So my experiences with the mould men were great, but that's it. Prevention,
ventilation, cure, mysterious
dangerous
liquid.
Chemicals, and extra prevention, put fucking danger liquid in your paint.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow.
And so far, well, winter's coming, so we'll find out for sure. Because I had it was a big problem in the house. It was unsightly. It was disgusting. And then, when these news stories started coming out that people had died of it, it got really scary too. So in the end, I just had to go, bang, I want the top mould guy in London. And that's who I got.
I've had bathroom mould before and I've used Silit Bang. And that's kind of done the business, but that's just little spots of mould we're talking about here. We're not talking
spores. No, yeah, I had a full mould problem.
Yeah,
so
full
Oz,
mould.
if you want Oz, if you can get in touch with me somehow, I'll if you're in London, I'll find this geezer. I tell you, this geezer I know his full life story. He's a band. He's a part-time musician. He's like,
Right.
he's doing the Mould game to pay the
What kind of
bills.
stuff? Do you know what kind of stuff does he play?
Punk sort of music.
Right.
Yeah, he's sort of into punk
Mould
band. He loves
remover.
punk music. But he plays in decent bands. Like, they played the Dublin Castle and stuff. And he knew my mate Tom Spencer, who's like a really old mate of mine, who's in a lot of those punk bands, like
Right.
the Professionals
The
with the Professionals with what's his name? I got the geezer
Steve
from the
Jones?
Pistols. No, the other one that's not
Paul Cook.
John Lydon. Paul Cook, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Steve Jones is in LA now, isn't he? Steve Jones has set up a group with Billy Idol
Yeah.
and Tony James, who used to be in Generation X, and then...
I think it's called Generation Sex, isn't it?
Generation Sex, they're called, yeah.
I'd love to see them in LA because it'd be a
pretty
laugh.
good. They'd probably be
Yeah.
good. But I read an interview with him in, I think, Mojo magazine, and Steve Jones is like going, yeah, it's good at the moment, but if it starts getting boring, I'm just going to fuck off. Which I thought was quite refreshing. It's not like, we've got big plans for an album and then a big European tour or any of that. It's like, no, it's all right, but I can't be arsed, then fuck it.
I read in Stan Bowles' excellent fucking autobiography, Stan the Man, that Steve Jones was from round there, from West London, and he knew Stan Bowles just from, the pubs sort of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, Stan Bowles was
Scene.
the sort of geezer who was like completely oblivious to all popular culture because he was just too busy being really into horse racing, basically, and nothing else. And being a footballing genius, but quite casually. And there's a bit in the book, I'll have to double check this, where he goes, he's in the pub with Steve Jones, but he's known Steve Jones for years, and he's sort of vaguely aware that there's something, this is like 1977, he's vaguely aware of something called punk music, right? And he's sort of like, he goes, yeah, what are you up to at the moment, Steve? And he's just known him for years. He goes, I'm in a band at the moment, we're actually doing all right at the moment, so I'm making a few quid out of that. He goes, oh yeah? What sort of band is it then? He goes, it's one of them punk bands. And Stan Bowles goes, oh, I've heard about all this punk stuff. You know your music, what do you think of it? And he reckons Steve Jones said, it's a load of fucking shit, mate. But, I got to fucking pay the bills like anyone, didn't I?
Yeah, I think having sort of read Steve Jones's book and interviews with him, I can imagine
It's an amazing book,
that.
apparently, isn't it? I've got it, but I haven't read it.
Because he just used to go around just nicking equipment from a Hammersmith Odeon.
Yeah.
Like when bands were setting up, we'd wander in and just nick their
Take
stuff.
an amp. Yeah.
And I don't think it was that arsed about music. It was just something to do and
You're just a bit
kill
of
a bit of time.
yeah.
Yeah. What's the latest thing? Punk? Yeah, I'll have a go at
Yeah,
that.
I'll
Why
go
not?
have a crack at
Shit,
that.
obviously. But
Yeah.
better proper job.
Apparently, it's like other music, but it's easier to play, so fucking count me in.
Right place, right time, really, for
Count me
Jonesy.
very much in. Right, I'm moving to LA now.
Yeah, it seems to attract girls with nice tits, which
Yeah.
is what I'm into. So there you go.
I'm going to read that book. Everyone says it's great. It's just been sitting on my shelf for ages. I might make that my next book. So anyway, Oz, hopefully that advises you sufficiently on your mould problem and a little bit of what the former members of the Sex Pistols are currently up to.
That's a bit of a bonus. Second one.
And by the
on
way, if
list.
you do meet my mould man, Oz, he will tell you more. If you are interested in the lives of the punk scene and what they're up to now, he knows. He plays gigs at the Dublin Castle and all that stuff.
Yeah. Made a good documentary. Mould Man by day, punk by night. Second question on here is from Andrew, who says, how can I approach my father's flagrant homophobia without calling him a massive cunt? Tricky that one.
I think with people like that, if you do call them a massive cunt, in a way you play into their fucking hands, because they'll be like, oh, I see, oh, I'm not allowed to say this sort of thing, and you become immediately personal and abusive. And they love all that.
Somehow. Try and unpack.
I think it's all right to just say, do you know what? I don't know if it's the right answer, but I do sometimes think, you just think, okay, you're in a difficult situation. You don't want to fall out with this guy because he's your father-in-law. But you can say, do you know what? I find, and call him out front, because actually your homophobia is like, it's actually disgusting and I find it offensive.
It's really offensive.
So I'm not here to I'm not here to change your mind. I'm clearly not going to be able to do that. But you hold homophobic views. I don't find it funny. I'd rather you didn't say it in front of me. And if you've got kids as well. I mean, I've got a mate who had to do that with his in-laws because they were racist, right? And it was all done in jest in that way that it's sort of like they can kind of get out of it if you call them on it. They go, oh, we're just mucking about. But it was in front of his kids, and that's what drove them to say, listen, you're their grandparents. I think this is out of order and disgusting, and I definitely don't want you saying any of this like sort of vile stuff, poisonous stuff in front of my kids. So knock it on the head, or that's that.
We were in 2023. These are views that were prevalent 50 years ago. Now, society's grown, changed. We're all better people. We're all trying harder to understand and tolerate each other. And you're just a massive cunt. Oh, I've just said massive cunt. Which is
I think the thing is, what you can do. I mean, I say this, and I'm not really qualified to say this. Also, like what I mean is that I'm not sure if I would pull this off myself because I haven't been in this situation. I don't think, but I do think that a good thing to do sometimes is rather than call them a cunt, you just declare that what you find acceptable and not acceptable. Do you know what I mean? Which is slightly different. You go, just so you know, I know you're making it out to be a joke, but I find those things you're saying really offensive and not on. And I actually think that you're a homophobe. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I don't think you're a homophobe. You go, I think it's homophobic. It's not nice. And just so you know, I find it offensive. So I'm just putting that out there so you know.
Try and dig into it a little bit.
Then they might go, I'm not allowed to say it. And you can go, I didn't say you weren't allowed to say it. I can't actually control what you think or say. But I am, just as you can express your views, your dislike, your distaste for homosexuals, I can express my view that I find that not very nice at all and really horrible and prejudiced, and I'd just rather you didn't do it in front of me.
Jalapeño.
Because what people want, the bigots, they tend to they love to characterise anyone who's basically not bigoted as being almost fascistic, like you're going to try and control what they think or say. Yeah, and that's the trap they lay for you. So don't fall into it. Just tell them what you think of what they're saying and ask them not to say it. Certainly in your company, and and then that way they won't be able to shift the argument like these people tend to do about, you're not allowed to say it, right, yeah, because you're woke, aren't you? And it's just go, no, look, I think it's really horrible, don't say it in front of me.
I was going to say dig deeper into it and just try and probe them and say, what is it about homosexuals that you don't like and find distasteful?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Talk me through it. I don't understand your logic, your reasoning. Yeah, let's explore it.
Yeah,
and usually it turns out that
what I find is if you say that to any bigot, whether it's about like sexuality, race, or whatever, they'll always start going, I haven't got a problem with them. I don't mind them unless the ones I don't like are these, and then they paint a picture of a very specific sort of person who is like toxic in some way, but they indicate that that's a large group. That they've got. I haven't got a problem with anyone because of the colour of skin. What I don't like though is the rapists. You're like, okay, so you're anti-rapist. Well, that's something we can agree on for sure.
I don't mind the gay fellas if they just keep it under wraps. It's
I
the
don't
Larry
like the ones who keep
Graysons.
going on about it. Why can't they be secretive about their sexuality like they were in the old days? Why can't they hide it?
Yeah, Duncan Novels and all that.
Because it is there for a reason. It's for their safety and it's for our peace and quiet.
Yeah, I don't feel safe to go in the toilet in the park at 10:30 at night. It's wrong.
You'll be fine, mate. You'll be fine, don't worry. Yeah.
What else we got?
Right. Owen Edwards says, I am going to Japan next March. Do I book my flight now? Or wait and hope prices fall, or there is a sale? Andy, this is definitely one for you.
I've got no knowledge or experience in booking flights to Japan.
No, but
the fluctuations of the Japanese flight market.
Don't play it cool. Just tell us how you would do it. That's all we
What's
want
he
to
doing
know.
it? March. Oh God.
What would be your approach?
You're talking specialist flights here. I'm a Jet 2 stroke EasyJet kind of guy.
Yeah, but what do you know? Like my mother-in-law, who flies a lot. Her passion is travel. Right. She's retired.
Then get her on the line.
Increasingly, like it's quite weird, but increasingly, I've realised that my mother-in-law's lifestyle is the one that I most sort of relate and aspire to, which I've got to say, 10, even 5 years ago, I wouldn't have seen coming. But she, well, what she does is she travels, but she's very like, she almost prides herself on never travelling in luxury, right? So she goes away, she's pushing 80, right? But she'll go on group tours. She's just come back from Georgia, as in the former Soviet state of Georgia, and like on a trekking holiday. And she goes with groups, and they're similar age group, and they stay in hostels, pretty rough places. But she prides herself. Anyway, I said to her, when you go, she goes to very unusual places. She loves the stands, as she calls them. So yeah, Azerbaijan, that's not a stan. Any country that ends with a stan, right?
Kurdistan,
Uzbekistan, all of that.
Yeah.
She goes there, right? And she goes on these sort of tours that you go on with other people, and you've always got a guide and that. But I go to her, how do you book, what site do you use for price comparisons when you book flights? She went, I don't use any site, I just go Google. She went, I just literally start with cheap flights to, and that's it. She went, and she claims there's no better way. Because I used to use a site called Kayak, which is an app, which is just really, someone had told me years ago it was good, but actually it's just like any price comparison one,
they just aggregate all the other sites, don't they? They scrape the data and all that,
So, but basically, there's no better search engine than Google, is there? That's why it's the best one. So what are you using anything else? Or just type in cheap flights to Japan in March and it'll tell you the best thing.
We're having some issues with Google ourselves at the moment, but we'll not go into that.
We won't go into them yet.
Yeah. We're biding no time.
We hope it doesn't come to that. Right. So, I mean, I'm not the right person to ask. I'm not brilliant at finding deals. But I would just say, what's the cheapest? I might be going to see my sister in New York at some point in the next sort of few months. And I've been researching that. And I did just Google what's the cheapest time to fly from London to New York. And that was quite handy.
I would assume there's going to be some kind of sale, probably a winter sale near at Christmas, but I don't know. But there'll be specialist blogs about all this, how to get the best cheap flights to Japan. People will blog about anything, so they'll blog about this.
I've got a great Instagram recommend, actually, when it comes to travel tips. I think, let me just check. Where's the search function gone on my Instagram? I'll Google it. I think she's called Cheap Holiday Expert. She's often on This Morning and stuff, although I've never seen her on that. I just see the clips that she puts on Instagram. And she's quite funny, and she just does funny little videos where she does stuff like she'll compare Cheap Holiday EXP, and she'll do things where she'll do 24 hours in an all-inclusive. But she'll do cheap, then she'll do mid-range, and then she'll do premium. And she'll compare all three, right?
Yeah.
And right down to the little details that we care about. Do you know what I mean? Like this free shit you get in the room, what sort of food's at the buffet, how many people around the pool. And it's funny, she drags her boyfriend along. And but she'll give loads of tips as well. Like I'm looking for her Instagram here. 5-star luxury hotel for under £100. She's done a thing on that.
That sounds good.
How to get a bag that's too big on low-cost airlines. She does loads of that stuff, like luggage hacks to get round the rules, right? And she tells you exactly what bag you should buy, right? Then she does funny little ones. Like one of them here is, are you afraid to use your hotel kettle? Right? Because I thought, why would you be? But apparently loads of people are. Because I think they assume that people piss in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't scare me, because everyone knows that boiling water kills all germs.
Well, is that a consumer rumour, do you think?
Could be a consumer rumour, yeah.
Why would you piss in the kettle when you're in a room that's got a toilet?
Out of being a pervert.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that you do in a hotel that's perverse, that's not necessarily pissing in a kettle, though.
People,
I imagine.
hotels have funny effects on people, and people do all sorts of weird shit when they get inside
Because
of
there's
them.
no consequences.
They feel like there's no consequences, but not me, mate. When I get in a Premier Inn or a
straight down the
Travelodge,
line.
I play it straight. I do. I play it straight because I don't want. I've had in my past thinking that trying things is fun, and I've done my research, and basically it's not.
Yeah,
it is not.
In the heat of the moment, it is. But then you think about it, you dwell on it, and you realise you've been a fool.
It always feels like a good idea, and then it turns out not to be. So what I do is I get in, when we're on tour, I get in the hotel room, and I immediately undress down to my pants and T-shirt, and I get immediately into the bed, set my alarm for like an hour and a half's time, and I just go straight to sleep.
Yeah.
And that way I think, if I'm asleep, how much trouble can I get into? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see it as shutting my body down to avoid any consequences of living.
Perverse behaviour. Yeah.
Then the alarm gets on, and I just get straight in the shower, put my clothes on, and fuck off out to meet you. Simple.
It's like after we've done a show, I like to have a couple of cans during the show. I'll have a couple of cans left. I'll have them when I get back to the room. I'll maybe get some dry roasted nuts in. I'll watch Bullseye on Challenge TV. I'll have a piss in the kettle, and I'll just go to sleep. That's all I do.
Yeah, and you leave the piss in the kettle, or do you boil it?
Boil it, obviously.
Or do
when else do you get a chance to see what boiled piss looks like?
You boil your piss.
Steam.
Yeah, fair enough.
Piss steam coming out the kettle. That's the beauty of it. And then you inhale it and you get high.
Like that deer piss that the Vikings used to use to get high off of.
The only time it's fine to get high on your own supply.
In a hotel. Anyway, check out Cheap Holiday X. That's the sort of great stuff that she comes up with.
Let's try and get through another couple of quick ones before we finish. Here's one. Dave Bell. Solid name, that. Oi, oi, lads. Thanks for your past advice. Once again, I am asking for guidance. I'm about to start a new job, office-based. I'm a bit nervous about it. Any advice for how to get settled in? Well, Jonathan Fawn has already answered it. He says, I simply identify the hardest man in the office, punch him square in the face.
Same advice we always give to start in anything. You just spot the biggest one, walk up, spark him out, and then just say,
your business.
Yeah, just get to work and you'll never have any trouble.
Yeah, as seen on the in the film Scum. Of course.
If he might try and come back at you with a shiv, maybe in a meeting or at the canteen one day. So keep your wits about you. You're going to want a couple of sort of flunkies or underlings to watch your back for you. But they'll be easy to recruit once you've set your stall out by sparking Mr. Big. Yeah. So
that's quite straightforward. But I mean, other than that, I don't know, because I don't know what your fears are and what kind of job it is. I don't know. You're asking the wrong people, because we don't really have jobs. We're free men of the land these days.
Last time I had an office job, it made me just start drinking earlier and earlier in the day. And that was where my problems really got out of hand. I think it was because I'd taken an office job. So don't drink is my advice. Do not drink or try and get through it with artificial stimulants. Just try and pretend you're not there. That's a good one.
Don't go pissing in the kettle and then boiling it.
Don't piss in the kettle. Don't have a wank at work. That might seem like a good idea when you're bored shitless, but it never does. It'll always make you... It'll fill you with a strange... I think the word's ennui.
Ennui. Yeah, you just feel guilty afterwards. Yeah, you just feel really low afterwards.
Yeah, don't make that mistake. All the things you think will liven the day up, whether that be wanking, pissing in the kettle, cocaine, alcohol. Ultimately, it all makes the day harder and worse. Just keep your head down, get the work done, and get the fuck out of there.
I think just get in there and just try to act as normal as you can.
Pretend to be a normal human. That's always quite good. Yeah. Can be exhausting, of course, but...
You've always got to be on. But, do that.
Here's a good one, though, Andy. Like, in office life, what happens when a fucking card comes round because it's some cunt's birthday? What do you do? What do you write in it?
What would I write in it?
What do you do, yeah?
Well, you just, happy birthday, Steve. All the best. Andy.
You know what I do? Straight away... I always keep it in my pocket ready. I take out 2 crisp £20 notes I sellotape them to the card, and then I write next to them, this 40 quid's from me.
Yeah.
All the best, Sam Delaney.
Yeah.
Right? And then even if they don't know me, they're like, fuck me, you seen that geezer Sam Delaney, the new bloke? He's giving me 40 quid in my fucking card.
Do you also make sure you're the last person to have that card and sign it once everyone else has done it? Oh, yeah, I'll do it later on, yeah.
No, someone comes round to me and I'm
looking
at my computer. I don't look up and they go, oh, hi, Sam. It's actually, do you know John in Bort Ledger? Yeah, it's his birthday, so we're just... and I just, without looking up, go, yeah, bring it to me last. What?
Yeah.
I'll do it, but I have to be the last one. Bring it to me last. Oh, all right then. And then I sellotape the 40 quid in and they go, oh, no, it's all right, we're having a whip. So shall I put that in the whip? No. It's very generous. Most people have just put in a couple of quid. No, don't put it in the whip.
I'm not joining your whip. No.
I don't do whips. This is 40 quid from me personally. Oh, I didn't know you knew him that well. I've never even met the cunt in my life. But it's his birthday and I find this is the cleanest way to handle these matters. So fucking... Go on, lick the fucking envelope, seal it up and give it to him. And if he wants to come over and have a chat about it, tell him where I fucking sit.
Yeah.
In fact, I might write it in. I'm sat just near reception. I'm the bald cunt. I'm the bald cunt near reception. And that 40 quid's from me. In case you want to come and say thanks. If you don't, no bother. Saves me a fucking conversation.
I'll stay there for about an hour.
And I do that for everyone's birthday, and I always have 40 quid ready in my pocket. It's the only way around it. It's another way of setting out who the fucking daddy is in the workplace. Do you know what I mean? And because then you get the nickname, don't you? 40 quid Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't forget you.
No.
And then one day you'll bump into them again, and it'll all be a lot easier.
But one day I'll need a favour from one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll remember that 40 quid.
Think about that, you cunts.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there. I think there's a few more to get through. We'll try and do some more next time. Don't add any more to the list. There's far too many already, unless it's an emergency. In which case, it's not going to get done for another 2 weeks.
I'm gutted we didn't get to the one about oven gloves because we've done some oven glove stuff before, and I always enjoy revisiting that subject. But we'll get onto it next time. Yeah,
we'll make a point of doing that next time. All right, and there you go. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye. God bless.